Hey, what's going on, guys? Indy here with Ultimate 2 Reviews. You saw my initial review on this, the Makita XST01 oil impact driver. You notice I had a little bit of an issue with the trigger. I think it was not, sensing how far it was going in and out. So I'm going to take this thing apart. Should be a very easy fix. I'm assuming this thing, being 9 years old, is probably pretty dirty inside. So we're going to clean this thing up, put it back together, and hopefully make it shine like new. So let's get to it. One of my favorite little drills here from Metabo HPT. This is the DS18DDX. They're a subcompact drill. I'll throw a link in the description, guys. You want to check it out. I think it's like 60, 70 bucks for the kit. That's right, the kit, not just the tool only. So definitely well worth it. Use this thing almost every day just because it's so cheap. All right, so these screws have probably never been out. This thing has probably never been serviced if I had to guess. I don't see, any real, signs that this thing has been opened ever before. So probably very, very dirty inside. That's an easy assumption to make, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be true. So we're popping these things apart. Of course, you're going to have the two pieces of the shell. And what you want to do is you want to have basically clean one side at a time to make sure you keep all the internals all put together and in the correct spot. All right, let's see here. It actually is not horrible in here. I thought it'd be way more dirty in here. So I just got to remember that this little light goes right up on here and in there when I put this back together. So got to note that. But let's get this thing cleaned out here, and I'm going to actually end up taking the trigger module here. This thing is pretty dirty. Let's get this thing taken out and clean that up a little bit here. Okay, that was really, really simple. I just used some Simple Green, sprayed it on there for about a minute and a half, and then just used a toothbrush to kind of get in there and really get all the dirt, all the grime out of there. And this thing looks almost brand new. There was a few, pieces of like just paint on there. I got that off really, really easy, but this looks like a brand new shell now. So that's one of the reasons I bought this thing, was I figured I could clean this thing up pretty easily and, of course, be able to get this thing serviced. And there we go. I got the trigger assembly out. You can see just how much dirt is in there. That's kind of what I'm assuming is the issue here. So I'm just going to kind of blow this off and get all that dirt out of there, and maybe put some contact cleaner in there and see what I can do. All right, and just like that, I got this thing all cleaned out. Sounds a lot better. The nice thing about these Makita triggers is they're actually a relatively common part. If you gotta get a new one, they're really not hard to get. You can get these on eBay pretty easily, pretty cheap. So hopefully this will work. We'll pop this thing back in. And before I do that, I'm actually gonna get this thing flipped over, try to clean this motor as best I can, and of course, clean the other side of the shell. I'm going to be careful in putting these back together. A lot of the wires can, of course, slip out very easily. You don't want to pinch or damage any of the wires, but instead go really slow, and then, of course, just push them back in with something like a small screwdriver as you're putting them back together. And before I like to switch sides on these, I like to ensure that it all goes back together smoothly, so I don't have an issue on one side and I run into an issue on the other side while doing it. Okay, so here is the actual impact mechanism here. Probably gonna add, actually let's clean this off. This is all just sawdust here. Clean this off pretty quick, and this thing is probably all set here. And just like that, no big deal here. Got this cleaned off pretty easily, and I can put this back in now. It goes just back in, very simple there. Just like that, we got it all back together. Both sides are clean. So let's see if this actually fixes it. Well, looks like that fixed it pretty easily there. So now the trigger is not sticking and it's actually registering the correct amount of pressure applied to the trigger. Before, you could hold down the trigger and it would start going slower, going faster. It kind of wasn't sure how far you had that trigger pulled down, but got some contact cleaner in there and I was able to kind of get like a little Q-tip in there with some water and wash out all the dust. Pretty easy to do, is probably one of the easiest parts there. It didn't really take much time at all. But check us out, all 3 speed modes now work fine. So that is about it, guys, for, if you want to open up pretty much any Makita impact driver. Not too difficult. Like I said, guys, easy way to keep it, together. Only do one side at a time. Don't do both sides, because if you pull it all apart, it's kind of hard to put it all back together. It's like a giant puzzle then. And some of the pieces and wires go in really intricate ways inside of that molding there. So start with one side, clean that side, put it back together entirely. Then you can flip it over and pull off the other side. And then, of course, clean that and put it back together. Very, very simple, and there's a couple of guys I've seen on YouTube that actually fix these. There's not much really to these. You can order pretty much all the parts online. They're all relatively well available. A lot of Makita stuff usually is. So they're usually pretty easy to fix yourself. Open them up, clean them out once in a while, and you should be good to go for a lot of these Makita tools. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any questions on this, definitely leave them in the comments below. Love to hear them, and I'll respond if I can. But loving the Makita Oil Impact, one of the best impacts I've used to date, even though it's probably one of the most expensive impacts I've used to date. So guys, thanks for watching, take care, have a great day, and stay safe out there.